Hey, good morning, everybody. All right. Doing the live reading over here on YouTube because, well, Facebook wouldn't let me in. Anyways, all right. Show must go on. Guys, I'm recording this on the morning of April 17th. We just moved into a new moon in Aries. Not only do we have the new moon in Aries, we have 7 planets in a stellium in Aries. We do not have any planets in retrograde. So it's like full steam ahead. But this Aries energy, it's not here to play. So I've been talking about each day this week that the energy was going to increase and get a little wackadoodle. Guys, this week has been a little wackadoodle, but just wait. From today and here on out, it's going to get a bit tumultuous. So hang on. This new moon is about karmic clear out. And what I mean by karmic clear out, I'm not meaning, oh, there's things we haven't fixed, so we're going to be dealing with karma. I'm talking about choosing the higher path. Like we talked about yesterday, the law of assumption. All right, let's get into this. We're starting out first with desire, heal, pulse, and armor. This, especially today, going through the weekend, don't be surprised if things are fluctuating, emotions are coming up, then you don't have emotions, just kind of all over the board. And that's literally what this setup is saying. Desire. The pull within reveals your purpose. Heal. Stitch the unseen wounds first. Pulse. Life's rhythm guides the seeker. And armor. Armor is strength, but true strength lies in knowing when to remove it. This is key, guys, especially for today. If you have been going through your days with like a set of armor on, in other words, your guard is up. Hey, Sherry, your guard is up. You don't let people really in or see your heart or things like that. That's not strength. That's survival. Now, I'm not talking about the discernment part of that. But anyways, what you can energetically expect coming up today, fiery emotions, unexpected emotions. You may also go, like I was saying earlier, go from a lot of these emotions to a period of almost feeling detached and not having emotions. There's nothing wrong. This is the energy of the day. And this energy is going to be with us through the weekend. The desire part, I want to hone in on that because this is what we've been talking about manifesting our desires and not doing it from that place of lack or that place of not having. When you assume with the law of assumption that you already have it and you're in that state, you move differently. You think differently, you talk differently, and you act differently. The pull for your desires, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a divine pull. Where the rub is, and I do feel that we're going to have a chance as we go through this day to really see where that rub is, where we're not fully choosing ourselves. And as I was saying, with these 7 planet stellium that we're in, all in Aries, fiery energy, and we're, only a few days out from Taurus season. Aries energy and Taurus energy are different. So you can definitely start to feel, or maybe you've already been feeling it, like you want to get things done. Maybe your creative flow is going, go, go, go. And then all of a sudden, kind of putting on the brakes. That's a bit more mild in an explanation versus how you're probably going to experience in your day to day. Think of it more as you're getting into a beautiful sports car this morning and taking off, and you're flying. You're going down the road. If you're like me, you speed, doing 90, 100 miles an hour, music blaring, whatever. You're in your groove. You're on the open highway, right? You're going top speed. All of a sudden, with the stellium, it's going to be like somebody, you have to slam on the brakes. And so going super fast, slamming on the brakes, it's very jarring. That's the energy on tap. And I don't feel like it's going to stay in big chunks. So you're not driving down the freeway half the day and then boom, you run, you stop into a brick wall and then it just crashes out. No, it's going to be like you're in traffic and doing that. So buckle up, take extra coffee, water, patience, whatever it is, because this is a day where the energy is designed to, I don't want to say challenge you, but challenge you to look at the subconscious programming playing out. This really is a great energy to get very honest with yourself. You don't have to admit this to anybody else. This journey is about you, but you cannot change what you won't confront. And what I mean by confronting is acknowledging, even if it's just, yeah, I acknowledge that when I'm trying to manifest something, I might still be doing it from the old energy. Healing, stitching the unseen wound first. The time of focusing on what we think is the problem or what other people have said is our issue, this, that, or the other, and not moving from that. Because again, as we know, when people are triggered, they're absolutely going to, especially if you're the one triggering them, and they haven't worked on this healing, that trigger is going to want to get you right where you're healing and get you off the path. So stitching unseen wounds first. This is about the subconscious dialogue that keeps playing out. That subconscious dialogue, as you know, it's a programming. It's like right now in the world, all this stuff with Hollywood and the actors, whoever, talking about the elites, letting you know what they're doing in plain sight. Let's take that for ourselves and looking at our subconscious, meaning that story, that program you're still repeating has the truth in it, has your answers in it. All right. 10 of Staffs, the Chariot in reverse, and 2 of Chalices. Yeah. If you woke up and your energy feels heavy or kind of burdened, You might have not slept well last night. If you noticed you went to bed in one energy, maybe you woke up in the middle of the night in a different energy. Um, just know this is temporary. We're in the middle of this transit. While all these planets are in Aries, they're still transiting and moving. Um, so it will be an energetically volatile day. Energetically volatile doesn't always mean catastrophe or negativity. It's really about how you're going to look at the energy, interpret it, work with it, and deal with it. So, the option to really feel burdened and heavy and like this is never going to change absolutely is on top. But remember, it's always a choice. You have the choice of what you're going to focus on. And I know it's not always easy. But the thing is, you got to start. It's never going to be easy. You're not going to get it 100% of the time right off the bat or every day. Give yourself grace. Grace, people, grace. But when you're in this ten of wands energy, the heavy burden, you may be feeling like you have to carry everything, or you've had to carry everything. People aren't showing up for you. Whatever that story is, that subconscious energy is hindering your momentum. I'm not going to say it's stopping the momentum, but it is hindering it. And when we come from or allow this energy of doubt, overwhelm, burden, heaviness, whatever forward momentum we had going stops. Again, that example of going down the road and then slamming on the brakes. Always bring it back to you. Bring it back to center. Take that deep breath, go within, and ask yourself, in this moment, in this energy, what story am I telling myself? And this, the law of assumption, guys, the reality is you are the creator of your life. What plays out in your life, you created it. Yes, even the stuff you don't like. And what I mean by that is you're creating it by staying in the story. You're feeding that. Universal law is, if that's where what the, let me try that again. The most emotionally charged feeling is what gets sent out. The universe is going to go find that same energy and bring it towards you. That's how it's designed. So when we're in that old dialogue, we know exactly what we're going to get. You're not living the desired state that you want yet because there's still some duality going on with the story. So, what you're living today and yesterday is an assumed state that you were in prior. So, going back to that law of assumption, when your inner dialogue is basically abandoning yourself, in other words, you're not good enough, you're not loved, you can't do this, you need somebody else to come in and show you you're loved or somebody to bring you the opportunity, whatever. That's the trap. You will never get out of this or live the desired life from that state. It's pure physics, metaphysics, physics. energy and vibration. 10 of Wands energy is a very heavy, lower vibration. You cannot live your desired state because your desired state, whatever it is a desired state because you're not living in it now. You're not living in it now because your internal dialogue hasn't had you be a consistent match to it. But that's what all of this energy is here. Like the different intense energy that we need to go through, there's always a purpose. And it's not the universe coming in to bring you an ass whooping or to, say you don't deserve it, this, that, or the other. No, that's monkey mind. That's personality. That's his job, her job, its job. And that's all it knows. And guys, it is an absolute master at what it does, at keeping you stuck. But the thing is, that's a program. You can't have courage without fear. That might be hard to see, but you can't. What I feel, I make real. This is the key right here. That and your cells are listening. What are you saying? So in other words, if you are the creator of your life, and we've already established that, we know we are. We've just been messy at it. Why have we been messy? We weren't taught this growing up. Can you imagine how different life would be if you knew this, flying out the womb? The ironic thing is you did. But veils were placed when we were born. Again, this journey, this experience here on earth is to bring us back to our true selves, remembering we're here for a purpose, remembering we are I am creators, remembering how the universal laws work. And yeah, it's not easy. No, not everybody's doing this. And that's why, because it's not easy. It is not easy to face yourself and be responsible for your thoughts and your feelings, and knowing that, well, wait a minute, I'm not my body, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my feelings, but this is my reality. Reality is created based on the consciousness that you're living in. Your consciousness is your vibration. It is what you're thinking on, what you're feeling, what you're emoting. Your experiences from the past are that. They're experiences. It doesn't mean that it's reality. And let me just break that down before I lose you a little bit. Going back to we are the creator beings, and based on your inner dialogue is what is coming out in your 3D reality. The problem is we go through life and we just call it fate. Oh, I'm not lucky. Oh, I'm not this. Oh, this, whatever. And, this is just the hand I was dealt with. Yeah, that is absolutely one choice. And if that's the choice you want to make, go for it. Just know you already know what those experiences are going to be. I'm here for the people who know that, but they want to make a different choice. Because in making this different choice, and for those of you that follow me, you're making that different choice. And you already know it's not easy. That's why I'm building a collective of badass warriors, basically. Love and light warriors that know who they are. We have real life experience. We've been in the trenches of our own mind. But inch by inch, we've gotten out of those trenches. Now, this new moon energy is here to help us stay out of the trenches. And staying out of the trenches, we do take dips back into the trench. It's kind of like, revisiting, going, Do I want to keep making that choice? And yeah, this is the hardest path anybody will take. Spoiler alert, everybody gets to go down this path at some point. Not everybody's going to do it in this lifetime. But game is life. Life is a game. We're here to learn the rules and then rewrite the story, rewrite the game. The only way you will not win is if you stay in your mind with the old story playing out. You will absolutely win if you plant new seeds. Now, again, planting the seed now doesn't mean by 5 o'clock tonight you're going to have the harvest. You're not even going to have the harvest tomorrow or next week. Planting the seed of desire with intention, and then it's your job and responsibility to water that seed with your positive. And I'm not talking fake positivity, spiritual bypassing. No, I'm talking about rewriting your inner dialogue to where you, the main character, is loved. You always win. Whatever your story is. But it really boils down to what we have felt about ourselves and what we've talked shit to ourselves about internally our whole life. That has been basically guiding our experiences. And we've been calling it fate. No, it's really ignorance. And I don't mean any disrespect in that. I'm just calling it as it is. If we continue to choose to go through life as, well, if somebody validates me, if I get this, then I'm worthy. Knock yourself out. That's a choice. But you're going to really be in the 10 of Wands, the Chariot in reverse. You're just going to stay stuck playing out the same old, same old. And again, it's a choice. And guys, as I said, I'm not knocking it. I've been on this path decades. I've been doing this for decades. Doesn't mean I always chose the higher route, always chose the higher thoughts. Absolutely fucking not. No. I'm stubborn. I'm a Taurus. I have to make the same mistake a few times. So I get it. And again, all it is a learning experience. You're gaining knowledge. You're probably gaining knowledge on what you don't want. That's valuable data. Don't discount it. If you know what you don't want, you could start visualizing what you do want. Consistency and momentum is key. This is a time to be selfish. And I want to put that into context because many of us, especially in my collective, we grew up hiding ourselves. We didn't feel comfortable being ourselves. We were the black sheep. Whatever it was. Point being, people told us we're too much. We're not enough. You talk too loud. You talk too much. What? Blah, 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 whatever. But we believed it. We started repeating it. And that's what I'm saying. It was never your story to begin with. Go through today, go through this weekend aware of that and make a different choice. Remember, and I'll continue to talk on the law of assumption because really that's where we're at. And I know holding that state of assumption, it takes practice. It really does. But that's what we're here for. We're not here for perfection. Perfection is overrated. People do not relate to perfection. And where we're at now, People are so hungry for truth, authenticity, realness. Your life is calling you to your authenticity. I know it's uncomfortable. But hey, get on the bus. I'm driving the uncomfortable bus. We'll at least make it fun, right? Choosing you, being selfish. And what I mean by being selfish is choosing yourself first, especially if you have always made choices from how will this make somebody else feel? Let me change myself so they feel a certain way. Oh, those days are over. This is choose you. What makes you happy? What makes you feel good and fulfilled? I'm not talking the matrix selfishness of choosing you so it hurts somebody else. I'm talking about choosing you because that's what your inner child has always needed. It always needed you. The outside world, it's cruel, but it also doesn't create your reality. Only if you let it. All right, guys, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Friday, this new moon. Buckle up, be prepared for whatever. It's going to get a little wild. So hang in there, give yourself the love and grace that you give everybody else because you deserve it first. And how you treat yourself, what you allow for you, sets the blueprint for how others are going to treat you. Remember, your cells are listening. What are you saying to them? All right, guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. If you're in the Greenville area, I will be live this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, at the Blue Lotus Festival. So stop by.